Back of it? Sure. Don't worry, like if you... Are you okay? You sure? Oh, it's already going.
They've incorporated empowering and educating and encouraging. That's what we do here as women. And today we have a session here with a variety of speakers. And this is for anyone who's working this business singly as far as we have myself, who's married, working this business because I'm the primary one out there working this. And then we have a divorcee that you'll be able to hear from who's working it singly. And then finally we'll finish off with someone who's working it singly without husband, without children. So it really is for everyone and anyone. And we're really just going to talk about what challenges we face with that and how can we overcome those challenges and how can we embrace those challenges to really make that work for us and our business. So for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Renee. I'm a senior consultant out of Chicago, Illinois area. This is my third ambitious women's conference. I've been in the business for 3.5 years. I absolutely love Ambit. I am one of those who is all in, and Ambit is all in me. And it is just a wonderful opportunity for each and every one of us and what we have. And my story, for many of you probably don't know my story, but I am married. I've been married for 11 years. And we have 4 kids. And when I was introduced to this opportunity 3.5 years ago, our children were ages 5, 4, 3, and 2. They are now only 9, 8, 7, and 6. Not only was I a full-time stay-at-home mom, but in order to be that full-time stay-at-home mom, I had walked away from a 6-figure corporate income in order to have those kids because I wanted to be the mother that raised my children. I did not want my children to see one day of daycare, and I knew that deep down inside me. That was my goal and my legacy in life that I would be able to teach them. And so I have left that with hopes, dreams, and prayers that God would bring something into my life, and lo and behold, He brought Ambit many years later. I am also a college professor, so when I left corporate, I just picked up more teaching. I had always taught at universities, so I just picked up more class loads. I was working twice the load that full-time college professors work on half the pay, because I would go from 4 different colleges in the Chicagoland area teaching. And so that being said, I was a full-time mom with 4 part-time jobs. And my answer to Ambit was, when will I have time? 4 kids under the age of 5 that solely rely on me, and I'm working 4 part-time jobs, and I'm gone every weekend for marketing that I do for another company. I didn't think I had the time. But God had brought this into my life and kept bringing it up and urged me to jump on board. And when I do something, I do it 110%. And this is what really I'm excited about, because in a very short amount of time, in less than a year, it's replaced everything that I was doing outside of the home, brought me home to be with kids. I should mention I also homeschool my kids, always have. So I've had a lot going on, and I still do, and I really am thankful for what He's done. So what I'm going to talk about is, even though I'm married and have kids, I don't necessarily have this, I have this support, I don't have this body, this being out there with me, because I'm the one who's primarily working the business. I am the one who is prospecting, I'm the one sharing the plan, I'm the one running the presentations and hosting the presentations and facilitating the leadership out there in the Chicagoland area. My husband is very opposite of me, probably why we work well. He's just very quiet and very mellow, and some would wonder why and how we ever got involved with each other. But he's very opposite. But his role is important because he's supportive of what I do, and he's the one who's able to watch the kids on a whim. And he is home most of the time because he's road construction, so he's laid off for several months out of the year in the Chicagoland area. We don't have road construction in here. So I'm going to talk about what we can do while we have that. So a little bit of support at home, but not necessarily the support where both of us are working at full stream ahead. I would love if we could, and we would, but honestly, I don't think he has that type of personality that would make pretty much help out there for me. He's better off where he is. But what I have to focus on is staying connected to my why. Why is that important? I have to stay connected to the why because I don't understand why I'm doing it, and focus on why and what is at home. They are my why. I want to provide for my kids I've never expected them to do so. And be able to give them everything. And it's staying focused to that, and not just my why, but I have to make sure that that superwoman ego they talk about, I tend to fall into that category. I try to do it all, and I try to do it all at 100%. And it really can be debilitating. And if you're in that category, it is debilitating because you're always working and focusing on perfection and how can I do this better and what could I have done better. And it takes that support from the back end. And if you walk away thinking you can do it alone, ladies, you cannot do it alone. You have to find that support system somewhere. And it may not be the spouse. It might be a best friend. It might be somebody else in the business with you. But if you stay connected to why you're doing this, you will certainly be able to overcome anything that comes your way. It's very easy as a mother to also fall in the trap of what am I missing at home? Am I not there enough for the kids? Am I not there enough for the household chores that need to be done? You know, how am I going to be able to accomplish all this? And that can be overwhelming. And there's days where you're like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. And you just want to pull your hair out. But you have to stay and go back. That vision board, why am I doing this, and staying focused on that, because that's going to help you overcome that. And you know what? I had to learn to let go. I had to learn to let go of the fact that, you know what, I can't have the perfect house. If I want the business, I'm going to have to give up the house for a little bit. You know, and thank goodness I have a husband that's okay with that. Because if he were to say something, I got to say, you want to work business? And very quickly he's like, no. I'll walk around the piles. And, you know, I'll do what it takes to help support you. And, you know, we have to learn to let go of that. And that was really, really, really hard for me, is to learn to let go of some of those areas. Because you have to figure out what is important and prioritize. And that is absolutely key. So that superwoman ego, I mean, that just really spoke to me on that. There are times that I feel alone. I envy the fact that Jim and Kim Mason are out there working it together. And I think, oh my gosh, if I had double the list, what could I do with this? Imagine with the dual power that we would have. But God gave us the personalities that He gave us for a reason. We are here to serve others with the qualities that He gave us, and we need to focus on that and figure out what that is. And everyone's purpose is different. So don't try to create their purpose for them. Let them find that. And His role is perfect where it's at. He is a support system like no other, even though He's not physically there. I love the fact that I know that my kids are with their father when I'm at the meeting. You know, so I can stay a little bit longer and help others. And that's the position that I have, and you got to just embrace what we have. And you know, the other part of that is they don't always understand your excitement when things happen. You come back from the women's conference and the ambition and everything, and you're saying, your mind is blown, and they're just like, whoa. I mean, didn't you miss us? What do you mean? You weren't there? And you've got to understand that if they're not experiencing it physically with you, they're not going to necessarily understand that excitement. And don't get upset when they don't. Don't get upset when they're not right there along with you, cheering and rah-rah-rahing with you, because they're not physically there and experiencing everything that we're experiencing here. Just accept that. They were where they needed to be at that point, and so forth. The other is incorporate the family. I make sure that my kids are a part of the vision board. The vision board we put together is created by the family. They're a part of this so that they know why I leave every night. I'm pretty much at a presentation every single night. I live and breathe Ambit. And they understand that because they have me all day long. We incorporate the skills of Ambit, the skill sets you need to be in Ambit into the homeschooling, and we're able to really bring that full circle in the family. And another thing with the husband and the spouse is, even though he's not out there with it, I found a great way to incorporate it in. Add his own vision. And you add it to the vision board. Figure out what he wants and incorporate him by adding his desires to the vision board. And he's going to know that he's appreciated and loved. And don't forget the two most powerful words in any relationship is thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being here so that I can go and do what it is that I need to do right now. Thank you. And the best way, and a lot of times women, they say this all the time, women get married to change the man, and the man gets married so they're hoping the woman will never change. The best way to ever change anyone is to change yourself. So if you're not happy with the lack of support you feel you're getting from your spouse, if you're not happy with the comments they might be making, there's something else going on there. It's their ego getting in the way. Figure out what their ego is that's getting in the way, and don't tell them you have an ego. No one likes to hear what's wrong with them and how you want to correct them. Start changing the way you address that ego, and let them see a change in you so that they come alongside you. And the only way to bring someone who's not supportive alongside you is to change the way you act towards them, around them, and about whatever it is that's bothering them. Because it's not you, it's something else that's bothering them. Maybe it's the fact that they feel they should be out there winning the bread. Maybe they feel they should bring in that income, and they can't. And they don't know how, because they can't overcome those fears. They have to address the ego that's there. And I love that they brought that up, because men have egos too. Very similar to what we had. Is that what's left? And if you break that down, don't sit there and criticize him. Just start changing the way you act towards him and remind them and appreciate. Everyone wants to be loved, everyone wants to be appreciated, and everyone just wants to feel like they're serving a purpose in life. And if you can just thank them for that, and as minor as it is, when I come home and just say, thank you for doing the dishes while I was out. No, thank you for getting the kids to bed, so I didn't have to deal with that when I came home. Thank you for this. Thank you for that. That speaks to them, and that lets them know they're appreciated and they're loved. While you're out doing something that they might not be supporting, when you come home and they feel supported, instead of criticizing and saying, why didn't you do the dishes? Why didn't you do that? Why didn't you? Just start recognizing and focusing on what they are doing, and they'll do more for you. Starting with the minor things. So that's, and if we keep that focus, it really does help. And you've got to figure out their why and really come around with that. Oh, let's see. You know, it's a lot of fun working this business, and we meet a lot of great people, and there's a lot of people have jealousy. There's jealousy all around.
Everywhere.
And one of those egos might be the fact that you're accomplishing something that they feel they may not be able to.
Everywhere.
It might be that you're making friendships and relationships with people that they don't know, so they're not certain where that relationship is. Just make sure that you stay connected with them. Marriage is a commitment where you have to be all in. Ambit is a commitment where you have to be all in. And that really pulls us in multiple directions, and we aren't really always certain where we need to go with that. Don't forget them. Don't leave them behind, and don't start taking on the attitude of I can do this without you. Because really, if they could be that support and that leg for you, find a way to incorporate them in your business. If you're going to speak or you're going to promote or you're going to be pinned or something's going to happen, ask them to come with. Ask them. So it'd be really important to have you there in the audience. I'd love for you to come out and meet these people and my friends. Can we have them over? The best way, kill it with kindness, kill it with love. You know, you're going to attract more flies with honey. And all of those statements are so true. So just don't be negative, don't criticize, because as soon as you start doing that, that negativity also creeps into your family business. So if you're allowing negativity to creep into the unsupportive spouse, if you're allowing negativity to creep into that area of your life, it's going to creep into others, because once you do it once and allow it once, it's going to be there more and more and more. So you need to stay clear of that, but don't let them be the ones that you walk away from when they say you have to leave 97% of the people in your life behind. You're married. You married them. Don't give up on them so quickly, because there's something there. And try to find a way around that and change you before you try to change them. So when it all comes back around, I love all the topics that they brought back into this. I need to just always stay prioritized with what I have. And the way I do that is I live and breathe ambit. I really do. A lot of people, oh, there's that ambit thing again. I'm a walking ambit symbol. But I always have to stay grounded and prioritized by never sacrificing growth for never sacrificing integrity for growth, and remembering that it's always God first, family second, and ambit third. And if you follow that, you will have a successful ambit business. If you try to reverse that order, it does not work. So thank you, ladies, and it's my privilege to bring up the next speaker. Living and working the ambit business singly as a divorcee, and a wonderful woman I was able to meet, and I'm honored to share the stage with them. So let's give a warm welcome to Mindy Grove.
Isn't Renee phenomenal? Oh my gosh.
Yes.
I have to say, wow. We were joking, the three of us last night were joking about, okay, this room, when we have our breakout session, it's going to be, a couple chairs in there, it's just going to be a few of us, we can chit chat back and forth and all this. And then we made the comment about, oh, no, we're in this meeting only, and wow, look at this. This whole room is filled in here. I never would have guessed that the Ambitious Women's Conference, that it would be us, that would be the ones up here talking to so many women. And there's so many wonderful people here that you could hear from. So, in Renee's terms, thank you for giving us the time to be able to talk to you and share our experiences with you. Yes, I am the divorcee. You may have, if you're watching, you may have seen my story a little bit, but I'll recap just a little bit more. The way I got into ambit was a little bit different. Nobody ever has this story. It's a little bit different than what some of you have done. I wasn't the one that started the business. I wasn't the one that put my social security number down on that consultant paperwork. So the business really wasn't mine, but it was mine. because I was the one that was working it. He started it with his social without me knowing, and just knew that I would be able to work the business. So when he brought it to me and brought it home to me, he said, this is what you're going to do. Well, I have 2 kids. They're not his kids because I am a second-time divorcee. So they're not his kids. They were my kids who I took care of because he really didn't want to take care of them. He did it first, but then after we got married, he was like, okay, I'm in. It's all. I don't need to do anything with these kids. They're not mine. So I was raising my 2 teenage kids, one which is the older one is a boy, and the younger one is a girl. Well, you know, teenage girls, I don't need to say anything. Yeah. So, very busy. Plus, I am extremely dedicated to the community. I was a volunteer firefighter. I did all that kind of stuff, so always on call. I was active duty military. You name it, I pretty much did it. Big into the family, all that stuff. So, you know, I didn't really have time, so when he brought this to me, I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Are you serious? Something else I gotta do. Unbelievable. But me being the obeying woman that I was like, okay, I will just do one more thing to make more income for our family while you just keep your one job, and that's it. So, needless to say, that whole changing thing where you gotta change and make a difference and all that stuff, I knew that I had done all the changing that I could do. There was nothing else that I had to give. And then I sat back and watched a little bit of what he was doing to my